This series is not meant to be an accurate representation of the current NASCAR Cup Series. This is a fictional series, ran on NR2003 for enjoyment. I hope you enjoyed today's race.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the NR2003 Simulation Season live from Martinsville Speedway, where today we begin the round of 10. This round, 2 drivers will be eliminated from contention after the conclusion of today's race. Who will they be? Martinsville's a short track, the only short track on the playoff schedule. Who is going to go to victory lane today? Who is going to be eliminated? And who will be the final 8 drivers to go into next round? Today, we're about to find out. Engines about to be fired. We'll take you trackside for the command.
Say it with me. Drivers, start your engines.
Engines roar to life here in Martinsville. Starting lineup across your screen may go a little quicker than usual due to the short nature of the racetrack. Kevin Harvick on pole. He was our winner here earlier in the year. Can he do it again? Martinsville is a short track. Lots of contact. Quick graphic reminder, the yellow playoff banners are the drivers that are in contention for the championship. That's what it looks like. Harvick comes into the restart zone. Green flag in the air. We are racing in Martinsville for the round of 10. Qualifying so important in the playoffs. Do not want to set yourself behind. This type of playoffs makes every part of the weekend important. Behind Harvick, you have Chase Elliott. Elliott won here in 2020 to secure his spot when the old playoff format was here. He secured his spot in the Championship 4. Martinsville moved up a few races. Couple drivers on the chopping block right now, early in this race. Kyle Larson, all the way in the back of the pack right now. Larson trying to make a move to get underneath Brad Keselowski here. Down in turn 1, laps tick off so fast here. The shortest race in the playoffs. The other driver on the elimination side of things is Ross Chastain. Chastain and Larson would be the 2 drivers out if the race was to end right now. Chastain trying to work his way up to catch Kyle Busch and Daniel Suarez, who are not too far up ahead of him. As I said, they're a little bit further ahead. Daniel Suarez here. Suarez last week finished 2nd in Homestead. Martin Truex Jr. went to victory lane. Speaking of Martin Truex Jr., Truex still in contention for the playoff, the championship. Alex Bowman last week had a good run, eventually fell off a little bit, finished in the back half of the field. Qualified well this time around in Martinsville. You can just see how difficult it is to pass here as Chase Elliott still working the 10 of Eric Almirola. Down into turn 3 and 4, Elliott still cannot get by Almirola, and this is just helping Kevin Harvick cruise away. When does frustration set in for the 9 car? Passing at Martinsville, always very difficult, but In recent years, the outside has become stronger than it has in the past, which is why this pass is so difficult. At the front of the field, Kevin Harvick is running away with it. As we talked about at the top of the show, Kevin Harvick won this race earlier in the season, so this was one of those races where Harvick felt really confident. A couple good tracks for Kevin Harvick coming up. This one and Michigan. Michigan is next week. Driver eliminated last week, William Byron. Obviously disappointed with the run that he had. Had a lot of confidence after getting the win at Homestead. And last week just did not have the speed. Oh, excuse me. Byron did not win Homestead. William Byron started off the playoffs with a win in Kansas, eliminated at Homestead. Back towards the front of the field. Battle for second still continuing. Almirola. Seemed like we're talking about this car every week. Almirola trending upwards, doing really, really well. Still battling hard with Chase Elliott. Elliott not able to get by Almirola. Oh, man! And Almirola with an issue. An engine. We were just talking about him. Almirola with an engine issue here in Martinsville. Unfortunate for the 10. As the engine expires on the Smithfield Ford for Almirola. Almirola will bring the car to his pit stop. And the car will be retired. We'll get an update on what let go on Almirola's car. Now Chase Elliott clear of Almirola. Let's see if he can hunt down and catch the 4 of Kevin Harvick. The engine let go right when he got back to the gas on the straightaway. Ryan Blaney battling with Kyle Busch and William Byron. Blaney on the high side right now. Two drivers still on the elimination table here is Ross Chastain. Kyle Larson. Chastain had that massive rebound at Kansas after getting in the wall. Solid run last week in Homestead. And now comes to Martinsville, and we talked about how qualifying and all parts of the weekend are important. Well, you qualify bad, you put yourself off on the wrong foot to start the weekend. But not too far up ahead from Ross Chastain. is Daniel Suarez, so some concern for Suarez. And the car in front of him is Kyle Busch, so Chastain actually has some playoff contenders that are in his sights that he could potentially get by as we go on here. Suarez battling hard with the 23 right now. Battle for the lead starting to heat up a little bit as Chase Elliott has cut down to below a second behind Harvick. Next week is Michigan, and then the week after that is Talladega. And we all know how unpredictable Talladega can be. Elliott was able to get close to Harvick, but now has kind of settled out. He's not catching him as much anymore. Curious to see how these two race each other once they get to each other. These two have some history. Battle for third continues between Alex Bowman and Joey Logano. Logano barely missing the playoffs. A disappointing year for the 22. Had an early win in Las Vegas, but did not see much success after that. Last week's winner in Homestead, Martin Truex Jr. Truex right now 7th. Got a couple of Toyotas in front of him. Denny Hamlin eliminated after Kansas. So some disappointment there from the 11 crew and Denny Hamlin after being eliminated in that first race. Driver we haven't talked about that was eliminated last week. Gotta go all the way back here to find him. Brad Keselowski being shown 22nd position, eliminated from the playoffs last week, as well as William Byron. Just did not have a good run in Homestead. Either Keselowski or his team car, Chris Buescher, they did not run well. So sights set on next year for RFK already. Harvick and Elliott can't quite see the back of the field yet, but lap traffic is definitely going to play a factor. It always does in Martinsville. You can see how close they are. They're almost on the same straightaway. Well, with these two cars clearer of the rest of the field, they're putting down some good lap times. Speaking of lap times, we'll go to the fastest lap times, and Harvick has got the fastest, and Chase Elliott not too far behind. Elliott was able to close right up that time. So battle for the lead could be starting here in a moment. Elliott with a little bit of a higher line. Then Harvick enters off the corner much lower. Whoa, Elliott way up the racetrack. Elliott skidded up the racetrack. And here comes Alex Bowman and Joey Logano. Once those two stopped racing each other, they were able to actually run the leaders down. So battle for the lead could be a 3 or 4-man battle here in a moment. Chase Elliott running a very unique kind of line around Martinsville right now. You can see how low Harvick and Bowman are off the corner. Elliott much higher with a much better arc into the corner, but on exit, looks like Harvick is able to stay at the bottom of the racetrack, which is the shortest way around here, helping the speed in that 4-car. Elliott needs to be careful about opening up the bottom like that because Alex Bowman is catching him right now. Like right there. Opening up the bottom like that, not going to be very good if Bowman can get under him. And there you see he kind of cuts off the bottom a little bit. Take a look at some telemetry for the 48. Give you an idea what it's like around here. You can see how much he's going to have to actually turn this wheel to get the car to turn. And how easy he has to be on the gas. Back of the pack to check on our drivers in elimination spots here. Larson has not made any headway. And nor has Ross Chastain. No closer than he was before to catching his teammate Daniel Suarez. So far the 1 and the 5 still in that elimination spot. Keep in mind as well, Larson with only 1 victory this season. Came at Texas early on. So the speed hasn't really been there on a consistent basis for the 5-car. We have seen him up front. Our 2 4-time winners battling right now. Looks like Alex Bowman working on teammate Chase Elliott. They've begun to battle for that 2nd position. That's what I was talking about with that lower line that Bowman was running. Chase Elliott opens up the bottom on corner entry, which actually helps that car. Looks like we had some sort of spin or something in turn number 1. I did see some smoke and tire tracks. See if we can get you a replay of that. This happens here with Timmy Hill and Greg Biffle. Timmy Hill just gets into the back of Greg Biffle. No caution for that. This actually happened just in front of our leaders as well. Hard hit for Timmy Hill on the side of that race car. Both those cars get back going. So no caution for that. Timmy Hill had to come down to pit lane. Had a tire down from the contact with the outside wall. Looks like he's going to be on his way. Another couple pit stops. It's like the 16 with some damage on the side of his race car. Let's see if we can get a replay of what happened there. Looks like the 16 just very low on the racetrack. Oh man. 16 with a tire down is what we're being told. Here's another look at it from Justin Haley's point of view. Tire down on Gregson's car. He just shoots up the racetrack. And both those, the 31 and 7, both with some hard impacts into the outside wall. 31 looks like his day could potentially be done. And while we were taking a look at the replay, a caution on the racetrack. We'll get you a replay of what the caution was here in a moment. And problems for the 5 car. Caution comes out there. Oh, Timmy Hill gets spun up the racetrack as well. Eric Jones into the inside wall. Get another look. You can see on the slow motion here, just Larson doesn't get slowed up in time. And some damage to the back of Ross Chastain's car. So we've got a couple cars, playoff cars, that have some damage here. Just a really bad situation. We're going to get another look at what happened behind these guys as well. There's the impact with Larson. Impact to the back of Chastain. Now the 41 gets spun across pit lane entry. 66 with some contact, and Stenhouse just comes in and also hits the door of Cole Custer. 66 went up the racetrack. Luckily, everybody was able to avoid him, but the caution comes out nonetheless. Back live, getting ready to go green. A lot of lap down cars on the inside. Green flag back in the air. Truex, your leader. So now we have some lap down cars here in the mix. Truex actually not your leader. The caution falling kind of the way it did in Watkins Glen. The leader is actually being shown as Denny Hamlin. And we've got another accident. This one involving the 3 car. We are going to get a replay of that. Austin Dillon into the back end of Gregson. Ooh, a little damage for Chase Elliott as well. Those 2 cars go up into the outside wall. Get one more angle of it. Another angle of it. Dillon to the back of the 16 of Gregson. Gregson goes up. Little bit of contact with Chase Elliott. And Austin Dillon with a hard hit in the outside wall. Some damage on the right side of that race car. Bringing you back live here. A lot to unpack on this restart. The way that the caution fell, a lot of drivers were a lap down. So Austin Dillon is now being shown 1 lap down. And the 2 drivers, this has flipped the playoffs upside down. The 2 drivers that are actually in the elimination situation is Austin Dillon and Ryan Blaney. Blaney may look like he is up front, but the way that the caution had fallen, Blaney's actually being scored in the 31st position. If Blaney wants to stay in the playoffs here, he's got to get up here and pass Alex Bowman. And there's not a lot of time left to do it. You can see the distance there. Bowman with 2 cars separating him and Blaney. So the caution turns the race on its head. Right now, elimination spot. Austin Dillon, Ryan Blaney. You see Chase Elliott has some damage on his door. You'll see him come around here. Some damage on the door, some damage on the front end of the car. So Austin Dillon getting involved in that accident with Noah Gregson. That is going to put him in an elimination position. A gift. That's a gift for Kyle Larson and Ross Chastain. So the playoffs completely flipped. That caution happened at a bad time while pit stops were underway. Back up the road a little bit from Dylan. The battle for elimination is here. There's 3 drivers that are right in that spot. The 48, the 9, and the 12. Scroll down here on the scoring pylon. Blaney has now caught the back of the 45 and the 8 machine. But as we've seen, passing has been somewhat of a difficult thing, but Blaney looking to the inside. Caution flag on the racetrack again. And we will have another restart with less than 10 laps remaining. It looks like Austin Cindric was involved in this accident somehow. We'll get a replay of what just happened here in Martinsville. This accident happens in turn number 1. Suarez tried to put his nose in there and eventually spins the 2 car out. And then Custer, Bell, the 77, all these guys get involved. Looks like Cody Ware as well. Let's take a look at that again. See the contact here with Suarez. Suarez was not lifting, and he knows he can't because he has Chastain behind him. Chastain with a good wreck avoidance there, but the rest of these guys, Cindric just gets pinballed off of, by the time he stops moving, 4 different race cars, I believe. Here's the 4th one, Cody Ware. So a lot of damage to a lot of different race cars here. Suarez was not going to give Cindric an inch. And we are back live. NASCAR trying to figure out the timing and scoring situation here. We will return when they get it figured out. We go back to green flag racing here in Martinsville for the round of 10. Back live. Denny Hamlin, your leader. Ryan Blaney being shown 1 lap down. So lap cars are up there as well. Not sure what happened with the scoring, but nonetheless, green flag back in the air. We're racing again in Martinsville. Second place driver is being shown as William Byron. But a little contact. Oh, Byron up into the outside wall. The 15 spins around, trying to avoid. And we've got cars piling into it. Truex is involved. Bowman is involved. Caution flag again. And playoff drivers with some damage. We're going to look at what happened as this race has turned into a demolition derby. First incident we're going to look at was the one we saw live. Blaney puts William Byron to the outside wall. You can see Suarez getting into it with the 42. Take a look at what happened there. See everybody trying to slow down, and Suarez didn't anticipate the 42 moving up slightly. Puts those 2 cars in the outside wall. You can see slight damage for Suarez, nothing too crazy. Then in the back of the pack, that's where it all happens. See Ryan Preece here trying to avoid it. He just spins the car out trying to avoid the accident, and everybody that was going to go high goes high. And look at Bowman comes in, slams into the back of Truex. So damage for those playoff cars as well. And I think Bowman's going to get a little bit more damage right there. And we are back live here. Timing and scoring a little messed up at the moment. Nothing changed with the drivers who were on the elimination side of things. The 12 and the 3 are still the 2 that are on the chopping block. So the 12 is here. The 3 car is also being shown 1 lap down. So Blaney facing elimination at the moment. Field going to be put back under the green flag. Hamlin off of turn number 4 into the restart zone. Green flag back in the air. We're racing in Martinsville again. Battle for the lead could be on between Harvick and Hamlin. And we've got 3 wide for what isn't second place. Second place is actually, third place rather, is actually being held by the 22, but the 17 is also racing for position. A little confusing here, as we have some lap cars mixed in, we have some lead lap cars mixed in. So slightly confusing, but nonetheless, the biggest story right now is this 3 car right here. A lot of damage on the 3 car. It's been a crazy day here in Martinsville. So Austin Dillon, Ryan Blaney, the 2 cars facing elimination here. At the front of the field, Denny Hamlin will see the white flag. Last lap of racing in Martinsville. Hamlin was in the playoffs, eliminated after Kansas, but that's not going to stop him from playing spoiler today off of turn number 4. Denny Hamlin takes the checkered flag. And we actually have a lot to unpack here in Martinsville. Story here, Kyle Larson was actually on pit road. Gonna have to see where timing and scoring is gonna put the 5 of Larson. A little bit of contact from the 48 and 99. Not sure if they had some issues during the race. A lot to unpack. Stick with us. We're gonna unpack everything that happened here in the last few laps of Martinsville. We'll get you an accurate playoff picture here in a moment. We will return with the round of 10 from Martinsville. So we're going to start here. Kyle Larson had a tire go down. Kyle Busch also pitted with Larson, had something happen to those 2 race cars. Now, when Larson comes to pit road, you're going to see there is his pit box. He was on the very tail end of the lead lap. Now, here comes Denny Hamlin, the leader. Now, Larson, keep in mind, now he's going to be a lap down. Larson returns to the racetrack, but faces a speeding penalty on pit road. Larson had to return to pit lane to face that speeding penalty. Now watch again as he's going to come down here and face the speeding penalty. The leader, Denny Hamlin, comes across the start-finish line to get the checkered. Now the other portion of this is Ryan Blaney. Blaney had gotten past Kyle Larson at the end of the race as the checkered flag had flown. Austin Dillon was also being shown laps down. So Austin Dillon was eliminated, but because of the sequence at the end of the race with the 5 of Kyle Larson, drama here in Martinsville, Kyle Larson is eliminated from the playoff picture, as well as Austin Dillon. Denny Hamlin may not be a part of the playoffs, but it's not going to keep him from winning at one of his favorite racetracks, Martinsville Speedway. Hamlin, victory lane bound here in Martinsville. Not a playoff driver, but a spoiler today nonetheless, and Denny Hamlin wins at the paperclip. Denny Hamlin has won here multiple times, knows his way around this small little half-mile racetrack. He proved it again today, as he's going to go to victory lane once again. So Toyota, the last couple weeks, goes to victory lane. This time, it's with the 11. Taking a look at the finishing order here, Denny Hamlin, your winner. Kevin Harvick finishes second. And the rest of the order will scroll across your screen, and you'll see the two bottom playoff drivers, Austin Dillon and Kyle Larson. So going into the round of 8, taking a look at the playoff standings now, things really shaking up here in Martinsville. Alex Bowman, Truex, Harvick, Blaney, Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, Ross Chastain, Daniel Suarez. Those are the guys that are left. 8 drivers remain for the round of 8 next week in Michigan. A crazy, crazy Martinsville race. We thank you for watching today's race, where it was a drama-filled event. I mean, when you look at how many cautions, the different playoff drivers that had issues, an untimely penalty for the 5 car, all he had to do was not speed. He would have been okay, and unfortunately, he was caught speeding. And that pit road penalty puts Larson out of it. And the accident with Noah Gragson with Austin Dillon puts Austin Dillon out of a chance at a championship. We thank you all for watching today's race. We hope to see you next week for the round of 8 in Michigan. Thank you all for watching today's event.